Hi, my name is John, and this is Business Update. In this week's episode, we'll be talking about how companies are concerned in terms of advertisers are spending less in their marketing efforts, looking for eyeballs, viewers to buy their products and services. So, what necessitates this, and what's to be done about this, and what are companies doing to combat this? We'll take a closer look at this one. Now we have several companies, especially TV networks, that relies heavily on advertisers to generate a lot of their revenue and income by promoting TV shows that people watch regularly on a weekly basis. Support them for several years so that if it's a popular enough show, advertisers would want to advertise during those commercial breaks so that they could promote their products and services so that you might be interested in purchasing or using the services. Now with the recent pandemic, obviously we're still feeling it despite we're 2 years beyond that. Companies such as Netflix, Disney, and the movie industry, Hollywood as a whole, are concerned with lackluster performances. Now, is it due to the concern of oncoming uh, what do you call this, recession of sorts, or is it just how the beast of the nature of business, if you produce a terrible product, no one would watch it, buy it, let alone participate in that endeavor here. So we'll take a closer look here. So according to businessinsider.com, how Netflix, Disney, and Hollywood can weather a recession. If we think there's a recession, analysts say a box office and theme parks rebound, but advertisers pull back still. Now, obviously, it depends on the industry we're in, despite the pandemic, financial or even, worldwide health crisis, there are some industries that's still going to do well regardless of situation. And case in point of theme parks here, even during the height of the pandemic or latter part of the pandemic, people still want to visit, theme parks because they want to be cooped up inside the homes. And obviously, that's good for business, whether you're Universal Studios or even Disney theme parks. But obviously, if Disney knows about this, there's a high demand. They can keep on increasing the price, and people has not can do nothing about it. And if there's a high demand, tens of thousands of people still visit their theme parks on a daily basis, and it makes sense for them to jack up the price even further so that they can capitalize, generate maximum revenue here. Now, in terms of box office, obviously, that's kind of been a hit or miss. Now, that I think for me it pertains more so to the product itself rather than because of the situation or a perceived recession. People are smart enough to consider, watching which type of film entertains them, and if it entertains them through word of mouth, a lot of people will watch it. If it's a terrible film, no amount of marketing, identity politics, uh, social media marketing, is going to save them, because at the end of the day, you need individual peoples to go out and watch those films or see TV shows and whatnot here. Now, in this particular aspect, you have Netflix, Disney, not just offering films or theme parks. For Disney's case, obviously Netflix is more on the streaming services, and Disney is now offering Disney Plus, and are trying to find ways to be able to capitalize on their popularity here. Now, one interesting note in their business model for offering streaming services, obviously you pay a fee so that you can watch the entire catalog of their films, of their TV series, commercial free, and that doesn't make them a lot of money, but nonetheless, it gets it gets paid because the fact that you're paying a monthly fee, a recurring fee, for however long that you're going to use their subscription, and that should be plenty enough. And obviously, for Netflix, who has been king for quite some time, are having difficulties nowadays because some of their contents are not, making a big box office success with the likes of, we've discussed I think last week, uh, examples of the Burn Notice film, even the Gray Man of Ryan Gosling, Ryan Reynolds, anyway, and a slew of other films. Some does well, like in the case of the film of Adam Sandler, Hustle. I think that's an enjoyable film, but not all of his films in Netflix as well did really well, or I don't perceive it to be as entertaining as compared to some of his other films. But again, the point here is the streaming services are now trying to capitalize by adding more affordable subscription fee, but with ad tier servicing here. Now, obviously, at the end of the day, if you're going to do that, you have to have a compelling case for consumers to stick around and watch those commercials while watching your favorite TV shows. And a good examples that I can share is in terms of sports. Now, in the United States, one of the biggest sporting events or most popular sports in the United States is football, American football, or the NFL, National Football League. That they only have 15 to 17 games as a season, and they spread it out every Monday. They call it Monday Night Football. They have Sunday Night Football, Thursday Night Football. So that's typically thrice a week. And the championship game called the Super Bowl, wherein not only do they have millions of people watch the game live, tens of millions during the seasons, even the playoffs. Then come Super Bowl, the championship, you have hundreds of millions of people watching the event. And obviously, if it's through networks, whether it be ESPN, NBC, ABC, whatever the TV networks that are vying for your attention, they pay hundreds or billions of dollars for your attention, because knowing that those events catches a lot of people's attentions, a lot of eyeballs, so to speak. And obviously, that's big opportunities for advertisers that are trying to sell you a product and service. And the fact that they're willing to pay millions of dollars for a 30-second spot so that they can capture your attention in that short time frame. And if they're able to do that, that's going to spell the difference between being just an okay business, but to become a very successful, reaching or surpassing your targets or quotas here. But going back to the streaming services here, and obviously offering ads during TV shows looks kind of counterintuitive, even though they're offering it at a lower fee as mentioned here. But I think as mentioned, at the end of the day, if your content is not king, then the advertisers will not be encouraged to spend their money in whatever TV shows or movies you're trying to offer here. And even more so for films, if it's really a popular film in your catalog, then you're going to offer it's for free, yet there are advertisement. Then I think there are still people who are willing to pay for it. But the question is, will they stay long enough in your platform? Because at the end of the day, it's not just about getting new subscribers to come into your platform. It's retaining them is key. And I think, providing tremendous content, regardless of TV shows or films, will always be the key here. And in the likes of Netflix, obviously, they're trying to expand their territory, not just offering TV shows. You have specials for comedy specials, which is what got me in their platform in the first place. Watching Dave Chappelle's comedy specials made me really consider, subscribing to their platform, which I am still subscribed up to today. And then for Disney Plus, obviously they're offering kid-friendly content, superhero films, Star Wars films, MCU films, and which is kind of ironic. They don't offer any more Disney films, the traditional films that they've been known for in decades past. But that's another story altogether here. But the point here is focusing on what you're offering, and making sure that your audiences are entertained and they're glued to your platform here, so that they have always something to look forward every month or every year that they are subscribed to your services here. As mentioned here, even Walt Disney, the company, is generally a bellwether for the industry, given its enormous footprint. So obviously, not just in television, they have ESPN, they own ABC, the network, and then they have the theme parks worldwide, obviously, and then obviously the streaming services. So they have a conglomerate of those things that makes them, you would say, immune to any external difficulties that may be bestowed upon them, especially the pandemic. But still, obviously, that's going to make a dent in their earnings, which is not good for if you're an investor in Disney as and the company as well. But obviously, once everything subsides, goes back to some normalcy, to which what we're trying to drive to nowadays, moving forward, hopefully, then obviously they're going to take advantage still again and churning out more products, more services that whatever Disney is offering here. And obviously, focus on advertisement is the assumption is you can advertise if there's a tremendous product that people are willing to showcase. Especially in theme parks, you can advertise in their different stalls if you're offering different products, and obviously you have to pay a pretty penny to be able to display your products here. And in the case of the streaming services, obviously you pay you expect to pay a pretty penny for your advertisers, but making sure that a lot of people are watching those content. Otherwise, you know advertisers would be scared or will be wise to spend even less rather than spend more. But obviously, at the end of the day, for companies like Disney, which is despite all its misgivings, of its faults, they're still looking very strong, and looking forward to what will be ahead beyond the pandemic here. And not just companies like Disney, you have Netflix, you have even Peacock, Paramount Plus, Apple TV, and even Amazon Prime here. So obviously, will recession be really happening in the near future? Well, that depends on the situation here. If prices keeps going up and people are limited to what they can buy, then eventually a recession is possible to happen here. But unless government allows it to happen, because obviously government can infuse cash flow in any country, that would inflate even more of the prices. So it's a push pull scenario here, but we'll have to wait and see what will actually happen and how will this affect the many businesses that are struggling or trying to capitalize on certain situations here. Anyway, I think that's about it for our discussion this week. Come back again on Wednesday for more business update, for more news, or you can check out my other videos. Stay tuned here at Business Focus. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.